Have you ever wondered if the storms in your life are hiding a secret, a sign that you're about to step into the most brilliant chapter you've ever known? You didn't stumble upon this video by accident. A beacon deep inside you, a whisper only you could hear, has guided you to this very moment. Why? Because you stand on the threshold of a powerful transformation, a journey that will redefine who you are. Lately, you may have felt overwhelmed, as if your life were spinning into chaos, full of uncertainty and challenges that seem to make no sense. But what if I told you that all of this is actually the clearest sign that you're on the verge of entering the most beautiful, meaningful, and powerful phase of your life? The universe always whispers before it shouts, sending you subtle nudges and gentle reminders before a dramatic shift occurs. You might have written off those moments of doubt as bad luck or personal failure. You may have convinced yourself that the roadblocks mean not now or even never. The real tragedy is that most people mistake these signals for defeat and give up just before their breakthrough. But not you. You're here, which means you're listening. Today, I want to walk you through 7 undeniable signs that your life is primed for a profound transformation. Recognize even one of these, and your world will never be the same. Are you ready? If you feel that spark igniting within you, hit like, share this video with someone who needs hope, and comment, "I'm ready to join us on this journey." First, you find yourself asking questions you never dared to ask. Who am I really? What do I truly want? When your mind circles these questions, you're experiencing your first sign. The old mental structures you've relied on are starting to crumble. This isn't a crisis, it's an awakening. Second, you feel a growing detachment from your past. The routines, hobbies, and relationships that once defined you now seem stale or suffocating. That sense of distance is not loss. It's the clearing of space for something more aligned with the true you. Third, you notice a shift in what you value. As external markers like status or money lose their luster, you discover deeper priorities: authenticity, connection, purpose. This reordering of values is the soul's way of telling you it's time to embrace your own definition of success. Fourth, your intuition becomes more vivid than ever before. You experience gut feelings so clear that you can't ignore them, guiding you toward decisions that feel right, even without logical proof. Have you ever followed a hunch that changed everything? That's your inner compass at work. Fifth, you become insatiably thirsty for growth. Reading, learning, exploring new skills becomes less of a pastime and more of an urgent necessity. You realize that personal development isn't an optional extra, it's the fuel for your next evolution. Sixth, you feel compelled to release toxic relationships and environments. People who once felt like family may now drain your energy. Situations that used to feel familiar now threaten your well-being. Do you sense a pressure to say no more often? That's your emerging boundary, protecting the precious new you. Seventh, you discover a sense of freedom as you let go of everything that no longer serves you. In that space, you experience an exhilarating lightness, as if the weight of old expectations has lifted. This liberation is the final sign that you're about to step into a realm where your authentic self can fully flourish. These 7 signs are not random obstacles. They are sacred markers on your path to self-realization. Each nudge, each pang of discomfort is the universe aligning circumstances to help you evolve. And once you recognize these signals, you can choose to flow with them rather than fight against them. Are you ready to lean into this awakening? To transform uncertainty into opportunity, chaos into clarity, and fear into fuel? If so, you've already taken the first step simply by watching this video. The journey ahead is yours to claim, one filled with expanded consciousness, renewed purpose, and an unshakable sense of inner power. So hit that like button if you're on board, share this with someone whose soul is calling for change, and comment, "I'm ready to make your commitment public." The universe is waiting. Your most radiant chapter is about to begin. See these signs as sacred milestones on the path to your true self. They're not random. They're a summons from your soul urging you to pierce the chaos and find your purpose. In the swirl of deadlines, obligations, and the relentless pace of modern life, it can be easy to mistake inner turmoil for external failure. Yet what if every moment of uncertainty, every pang of dissatisfaction, and every restless night is actually an invitation to wake up, to question, to transcend? Meet Emma, a 30-year-old barista in Seattle who felt trapped in a cycle of people-pleasing and a dead-end job. From dawn to dusk, she poured coffee for hundreds of patrons, memorizing orders and reciting smiles, all while her own heart felt parched. Weekends offered no relief, brunch shifts, mandatory staff meetings, and the unending echo of, "Can I get a refill?" she had come to dread. On the surface, Emma had stability, steady income, friendly coworkers, a routine she could navigate by muscle memory. But beneath that facade, she sensed a yawning chasm between what she was doing and who she truly was. One night, under the city's glittering skyline, Emma stopped mid-step and asked herself, "Is this all there is? Is this my life?" That simple question, uttered in the quiet glow of street lamps, cracked open her status quo. The discomfort she once saw as failure turned out to be her first awakening. It was as if the universe had pressed a pause button, compelling her to confront the dissonance between her external achievements and her internal longings. These signs, like stars peeking through a stormy sky, might seem faint at first, but they'll guide you home once you learn to look. Imagine a night so overcast that no star is visible. Still, you know they're there, beyond the clouds. In the same way, your higher purpose is always shining, even when circumstances obscure your vision. Your intuition, your gut feeling, is the faint glow of those stars. It may flicker, but it never truly extinguishes. In depth psychology, Carl Jung calls this process individuation, the stripping away of society's masks and the roles we wear to be accepted, so we can embrace our true selves. Jung observed that each of us carries a persona, the social face we present to the world, and a shadow, the hidden parts we refuse to acknowledge. Individuation is the courageous journey of bringing these hidden aspects into conscious awareness, integrating them, and becoming whole. It's a path from fragmentation to unity, from outer conformity to inner authenticity. The chaos you're experiencing isn't your enemy. It's your invitation to evolve and live a life aligned with the deepest calling of your soul. Chaos shakes you awake. It dismantles comfortable illusions and forces you to reevaluate what truly matters. Without that upheaval, many of us would drift through life on autopilot, clinging to safety nets woven from other people's expectations. But when those nets begin to fray, when routine no longer satisfies, when success feels hollow, you have a choice: retreat into denial or step boldly into growth. Do you recognize yourself standing at that threshold? Perhaps you've noticed yourself questioning old beliefs, doubting the trajectory you once deemed secure, or feeling a powerful urge to break free from stale environments. These are not signs of personal defect. They are signals of personal potential. Emma's spark ignited the moment she stopped pretending that busyness equaled worthiness. She began to listen to her inner voice, a voice that whispered of creativity long suppressed, of dreams deferred but not extinguished. The first step on this path is awareness. Notice the moments when you feel that gentle tug in your chest, the subtle disquiet in your mind. They are your soul's way of saying, pay attention. Keep a record, whether in a journal, a voice memo, or a quiet mental note, of each time you experience that nudge. Over time, you'll start to see patterns, which people, places, or activities spark that inner light, and which ones dull it. Next comes reflection. With each signal you record, ask yourself, what is this revealing about my deeper needs? Which part of me is calling out to be heard? Emma realized that her love for art and storytelling, once relegated to the margins of her life, was not a frivolous hobby, but a core part of her identity. She began sketching designs for coffee shop murals on napkins during slower hours. That small act of creativity became her anchor, her proof that her soul still yearned to express beauty, to connect, to inspire. As awareness blossoms into reflection, you arrive at decision. Decision is the moment you choose to honor your inner guidance over external pressure. Emma faced a choice: remain in the safety of her barista job or invest in herself by enrolling in a local art class. She faltered. Fear whispered about financial risk, social judgment, and the possibility of failure. Still, she remembered the whispered call in the night. Is this all there is? Is this my life? With trembling resolve, she signed up for the class and committed to showing up each week, no matter how intimidated she felt. Transformation follows decision. Emma's early efforts were clumsy, her sketches uneven, her color palettes clashing. Yet with each brushstroke, she reclaimed a fragment of herself. She formed friendships with fellow students who saw her potential and encouraged her. She began exhibiting small pieces at local coffee houses, each display a declaration: I am learning to honor my truth. Her confidence grew, not because she became a master artist overnight, but because she trusted the process of growth. You too can follow a similar arc: awareness, reflection, decision, and transformation. Notice the sacred signs. Reflect on what they reveal. Decide to take concrete steps, however small. Trust that each step brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. As Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. By bringing these hidden promptings into light, you shift from being a passenger in your own story to becoming the author. Finally, remember that this journey is not linear. You will loop back, face old patterns, and feel the storms return. That's natural. Each cycle deepens your understanding and strengthens your resolve, and every storm carries new revelations. What once felt like regression may, in fact, be a deep reorganization, aligning you more precisely with your purpose. Are you ready to begin? The signs are not random. They are your personal roadmap. Lean into the discomfort, honor the whisper, embrace the chaos. In doing so, you will not only transform your own life, you will illuminate the path for others who are waiting for their own spark. Your most brilliant chapter awaits. Will you turn the page? To understand why these signs arrive, we must look at the psychology beneath. Jung taught that your unconscious governs your life until you make it conscious. Our unconscious mind harbors patterns, memories, and beliefs that operate below the surface of awareness, subtly directing our choices and emotional responses. When you experience moments of chaos, anxiety swelling beyond control, doubt that loops like a broken record, or a pervasive sense of being lost, it is not the world failing you, but rather your unconscious engaging in a struggle with the polished persona you present to others. These internal battles are not punishments. They are your psyche's call to evolve. Imagine your psyche as a grand theater. On the stage, you play roles: the confident professional at work, the devoted friend on weekends, the dutiful family member on holidays. The audience applauds or critiques these performances. Yet behind the curtain, hidden actors maneuver props, adjust lighting, and whisper lines you never see. These behind-the-scenes forces, your unconscious drives, shape the storyline far more than your conscious script ever could. When those hidden actors grow restless, the stage shudders, cueing a drama you cannot ignore. Consider the first two signs. Sign 1. You begin to question everything you once believed. For years, Emma believed that perfection was the ultimate key to worthiness. She achieved straight A's in school, earned glowing performance reviews, and never missed a deadline. This relentless pursuit of flawlessness, reinforced by early praise for excellence, became an invisible contract. I will be loved and safe if I never falter. Yet as she approached her 30th birthday, a subtle but persistent whisper rose within her mind. Who am I, really? What do I want? These questions are psychological earthquakes. They reverberate through the bedrock of your identity, cracking the rigid mold of conditioned beliefs and shaking loose the debris of outdated values. When your foundational beliefs start to tremble, you may feel dizzy, terrified, or moving. Yet in that tremor lies your gateway to freedom. Each time you ask, is this belief still serving me? You chip away at the edifice of assumption, making way for new convictions that resonate with your authentic self. Emma's journey began the night she paused in her apartment, the question echoing in her head. It was the first tremor, the opening of self-discovery. You feel disconnected once you crack your fundamental beliefs. You often discover that many of them fit the routine, the Friday night Emma noticed this disconnection keenly. Invitations to gatherings she once relished now triggered a pang of reluctance. Each yes felt heavier, each hello more hollow. She wrestled with a swirl of freedom and guilt, a vortex of relief at escaping superficial banter and shame at distancing herself from people she had loved. In Jungian terms, this is the heart of individuation, the process of freeing yourself from the assigned roles that served others' expectations, so you can discover and live in harmony with your true nature. Imagine your mind as an overgrown garden. The old roles, like invasive weeds, the agreeable friend, the high achiever, the peacekeeper, strangled tender blossoms of authenticity. By acknowledging and releasing these outdated scripts, you create open spaces where your genuine gifts and desires can grow. When Emma stopped attending events that left her depleted, she opened a clearing in her life, a quiet space to revisit forgotten dreams, to sit with her own thoughts, and to hear faint stirrings of passion long silenced. Do you feel your old structures collapsing? If you sense these pillars of habit and belief crumbling around you, resist the urge to patch them up. That collapse is your rebirth. The void left in their wake is not empty. It is fertile ground, a blank canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of your conscious creation. But why did these signs appear now, at this moment in your life? Your unconscious is telegraphing, I am here. It's time. In the physics of personal growth, pressure builds until it bursts through the nocole, your cutoff point, forcing you to recognize what has been hidden. Without that pressure, many of us would sail on autopilot, tethered to comfort zones built on shaky foundations. Those comfort zones are like gilded cages, safe but stifling. When the bars give way, we either flee in panic or step, however hesitantly, into a new realm of possibility. Recognizing these signs is only the beginning. Next comes a task of integration, bringing these unconscious messages into conscious awareness, reflecting on their meaning, and deciding how to realign your life accordingly. Emma's journal became her confidant. Each evening, she recorded moments of questioning and detachment. Over weeks, patterns emerged. She shied away from small talk but leapt at any chance to discuss art. She felt hollow after selling coffee, but alight when sketching logo designs on napkins. Her unconscious nudges clustered around two themes: creativity and meaningful connection. From awareness springs reflection. Emma asked herself, what did these nudges reveal about my deepest desires? Which parts of me are begging to be heard? She discovered a yearning to express herself, to craft beauty, and to connect with communities that valued authenticity over convenience. These insights crystallized her decision to enroll in a local art workshop, a small choice that carried enormous weight. Decision is the third phase. It requires courage to act on new insights, especially when the status quo feels easy. Emma confronted her fear of financial instability and social judgment. Yet the question she had posed under muted streetlights, is this all there is? Is this my life? Still resonated. Through trembling hands, she clicked enroll on the workshop website, committing to attend each week no matter how intimidated she felt. Transformation followed. Emma's early paintings were earnest but rough, her colors jarring. Yet with each brushstroke, she reclaimed a fragment of herself. Friendships formed around shared artistic challenges, and gallery owners began to notice her work. What had once seemed like a risky hobby unfolded into a path of career pivot and personal fulfillment. Emma's story illustrates a universal alchemy. When you honor the guidance of your unconscious, your life shifts from mere existence to expressive flourishing. Your journey may mirror Emma's in structure, if not in detail. Begin with awareness of internal signals. Follow with reflection on their meaning. Move into decision, intentional choices that honor those signals. Finally, embrace transformation as you integrate new patterns, relationships, and roles into your life. Jung's warning, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, underscores that without this process, you remain at the mercy of hidden forces. By illuminating them, you reclaim agency. Are you ready to step into this process? Notice the next tremor of self-questioning. Welcome the pang of detachment. See these moments of upheaval not as setbacks, but as catalysts for change. Keep a journal. Seek out nurturing communities. Take small, consistent actions. Explore a class. Redesign a corner of your home. Reach out to a mentor. Each step is a declaration to the universe. I am here. I choose growth. Remember, this path is cyclical. You will return to earlier signs, deepen your understanding, and refine your integration. With each loop, you become more attuned to your intrinsic purpose. The storms may revisit, but you will meet them with the steadiness of someone who has learned to navigate from within. As your old structures collapse, trust the process of collapse. It is a clearing for rebirth. Your unconscious is guiding you toward your highest potential. Lean into the chaos, honor the whisper within, and allow yourself to evolve. On the other side of this transformation awaits a reality shaped by your authentic vision, a life that resounds with meaning and vibrancy. Your next chapter is calling. Will you answer? Now let's interpret these signs as sacred guideposts on your awakening. Each one signals a shift in your psyche, a bright arrow pointing towards self-realization. Sign 3, you question what once felt essential. Suddenly, activities, goals, and priorities that used to define your worth begin to ring hollow. Emma, the 30-year-old barista in Seattle, discovered this when she realized that making coffee for others, while stable and reliable, never truly fulfilled her. At first, she chalked it up to fatigue, but the nagging feeling persisted. Is this really what I'm here to do? That persistent question awakened in her a craving for creative expression, a desire she had buried beneath years of dutiful routine. She began sketching logo ideas on napkins during slow shifts, her heart fluttering at the sight of shapes and colors. This realization that her purpose lay beyond the espresso machine shattered the illusion that money and security were life's ultimate goals. Instead, she shifted her focus inward, seeking joy not in financial gain, but in the pure delight of self-expression. This is your true self taking the reins, like fog lifting to reveal a clearer path. When you reach sign 3, you no longer measure success by the metrics imposed on you by society, family, or peers. You find yourself asking, what brings me genuine joy? And which pursuits make me feel most alive? You may notice a sense of dissonance when you engage in tasks that once felt meaningful. That dissonance is your inner compass realigning, urging you to drop the facade and pursue what nourishes your soul. Sign 4. You feel a heightened connection to intuition. As Emma's sense of purpose crystallized, her intuition grew louder and more precise. One afternoon, she felt an irresistible pull toward an art studio she'd passed a dozen times. It was as if the universe whispered, "This is where you need to be." On impulse, she signed up for a painting class, her hand guided by an instinct that defied logic. That simple act reignited a long-buried passion for visual storytelling. Canvas by canvas, her confidence blossomed. The shapes and hues she once dismissed as mere hobbies transformed into a medium through which she communicated her deepest truths. Intuition is the compass of the unconscious, guiding you through the storm to where you belong. Have you ever felt a gut feeling that led you to make a choice that later proved pivotal? Perhaps it was a sudden urge to send a message, attend an event, or explore a new field of study. Those moments of inner certainty are the unconscious mind's way of aligning you with your highest good. When you honor those nudges, even when they don't make rational sense, you open yourself to synchronicities that affirm your path. Emma's chance encounter in that painting class, with a gallery owner scouting emerging talent, was one such synchronicity, a synchronistic nudge that confirmed she was exactly where she needed to be. Sign 5. You experience an insatiable drive for personal growth. Once Emma connected with her creative core, she couldn't stop learning. Jung's writings became her companion. She devoured every book she could find on psychology, mythology, and symbolism. She felt her mind expand like a seed breaking through soil toward light. Concepts that once seemed abstract, archetypes, shadow work, collective unconscious, became living tools she used to dissect her own experiences. This hunger for expansion is individuation at work, calling you to transcend limiting beliefs and step into your fullest potential. When you hit sign 5, every workshop, podcast, or TED Talk feels urgent. You realize that self-improvement is not a luxury, but a necessity. Do you find yourself turning every idle moment, commutes, lunch breaks, sleepless nights, into opportunities to learn and grow? That thirst is a signal that your psyche is ready for the next level of consciousness. In Emma's case, her constant study unlocked new creative techniques she applied to her art, fueling a positive feedback loop. The more she learned, the more her artwork deepened and the more recognition she gained. A chance encounter in that art class with a gallery owner was a synchronistic nudge toward her next step. But you don't need to wait for a literal gallery opening to experience synchronicity. When you commit to growth, seemingly random events begin to align. A book recommendation arrives at just the right moment. An offhand comment from a stranger sparks a breakthrough idea, or a spontaneous trip introduces you to a mentor who changes everything. These synchronicities are like signposts in the wilderness, confirming you're on the right track. Do you sense a similar call within you? Perhaps you've started jotting down ideas for a novel, teaching yourself a new language, or asking tough questions in therapy. Each sign unlocks a door to a hidden chamber of your soul, revealing treasures you never knew existed. You might even feel a powerful mix of exhilaration and vulnerability. Exhilaration at the possibilities unfolding. Vulnerability at how raw and uncharted it all feels. That tension, that electric edge, is proof that you're alive with potential, ready to live fully, authentically, and freely. Together, signs 3, 4, and 5 proclaim that you're ready to live from your core essence rather than from borrowed scripts. They invite you to let go of worn-out definitions of success, trust the wisdom of your inner guidance, and cultivate a mindset of relentless growth. By interpreting these signs as sacred guideposts, you transform chaos into a carefully curated path. You stop reacting to life and begin co-creating with it. But what happens when you step through that door? What unfolds on the other side of self-discovery? The answer lies in how you integrate these awakenings into your daily life. Integration is the bridge between insight and embodiment. It involves weaving new habits, relationships, and environments into your routine so that the transformation is not a temporary high, but a lasting evolution. For Emma, integration looked like more than just attending art classes. She redesigned her workspace to include an easel, sketch pad, and inspirational quotes. She prioritized creative sessions, blocking time on her calendar like it was a crucial meeting. She distanced herself from social circles that undervalued her newfound passion and sought out communities where her art could flourish. Gradually, her identity shifted from barista to artist, to the point where clients started commissioning her work before she even completed her day job. Integration is the slow alchemy that turns raw potential into tangible reality. Integration also demands compassion. As you evolve, you will revisit old fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing stability. Each fear is a vestige of your past conditioning and deserves acknowledgement, not suppression. When anxiety resurfaces, ask yourself, what wisdom is my unconscious trying to share? This reframes fear as feedback rather than a barrier. Over time, your relationship with fear transforms. You learn to treat it as a trusted ally, signaling where growth is most needed. Moreover, integration calls for community. No one awakens in isolation. Emma's artistic breakthrough accelerated when she connected with a local collective of painters who shared resources, critiques, and encouragement. You too can seek out mentors, peer groups, or even online forums where your aspirations are celebrated instead of dismissed. Community provides accountability and expands your perspective, reminding you that your journey, while unique, is part of a larger human tapestry of growth and creativity. Finally, integration flourishes through ritual. Rituals anchor transformation in the body and the psyche, making abstract insights concrete. For example, Emma lit a candle each morning to signify her commitment to creativity. She journaled each evening to reflect on her growth. She celebrated small victories, completing a painting, landing a gallery invite, or overcoming self-doubt, with gratitude practices that reinforced her new identity. Ritual connects mind, body, and soul in a unified act of self-renewal. As you interpret signs 3, 4, and 5 as sacred guideposts, remember that the path to awake living is iterative. You will cycle through, questioning what must be released, tuning into your intuition, and fueling your growth again and again. Each cycle deepens your wisdom and strengthens your resolve. Every time you honor a nudge, you declare to the universe, I am ready for more. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, which of these 3 signs am I experiencing right now? Notice the subtle temperature shift in your chest, the quickening of your pulse. Those somatic cues are further confirmation that you're on the brink of expansion. Commit to one small action today, perhaps a doodle on a napkin, a moment of silence to listen inward, or a chapter from that self-help book on your nightstand. This simple move sets the ripple of transformation in motion. By interpreting these signs as your soul's sacred guideposts, you transform inner turbulence into intentional creation. You pave the way not only for your own rebirth, but also for the inspiration you will radiate to others. When you step through those doors, your awakening becomes a beacon for every seeker who crosses your path. The impact of your transformation extends far beyond personal fulfillment. It influences your relationships, your work, and the collective field of consciousness. As you live more authentically, you encourage others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of courage and clarity. You become a living testament to the power of individuation, the process Jung described as the ultimate purpose of the human psyche. Now, pause and breathe deeply. Let the wisdom of signs 3, 4, and 5 sink into your bones. Embrace the creative longing, the intuitive pull, and the relentless thirst for growth. These are not mere phases, but the fertile soil from which your new life will sprout. Step gently but firmly into this fertile ground, for here lies your next chapter. One painted with the colors of your true self, guided by the compass of your unconscious, and nourished by the relentless pursuit of inner joy. Your awakening is underway. Trust the process, honor the signs, live fully, authentically, and freely. This awakening reshapes not just how you see life, but life itself. As you move beyond merely surviving to truly thriving, a profound shift occurs. Relationships realign, passions ignite, and your sense of purpose crystallizes. You no longer settle for the status quo, but actively craft a life that resonates with your deepest values. In this transformative phase, you suddenly feel compelled to break free from toxic relationships and environments. What once felt comforting begins to feel draining, as if you're trapped in a slow-motion tug-of-war against forces that dim your inner light. Emma, the 30-year-old barista who discovered her passion for art, experienced this vividly. A longtime friend, once a source of laughter, had become a manipulative energy vampire, constantly demanding attention, sowing doubt, and dismissing Emma's dreams. The final straw came when Emma realized she was leaving every interaction more exhausted than fulfilled. When she set boundaries and let that relationship go, she felt a profound lightness, as if waking from a long dream. That release was not about anger or revenge. It was a sacred act of self-love. By choosing her own well-being over habitual loyalty, Emma liberated her psyche to invite genuine connections, people who celebrated her true self rather than obligate her performance. Within weeks, she discovered a supportive art collective that recognized her budding talent and nurtured her growth. This new circle understood her struggles and victories alike, providing the encouragement she had long craved. Are you enduring a relationship that dims your light? If you find yourself second-guessing your worth after certain interactions, it's time to let go. You deserve peace, an environment where your potential can flourish unencumbered. As you release toxicity and reclaim your energy, a deeper detachment unfolds, one that reaches beyond personal connections to every facet of your life. The job that once provided stability now feels stifling. The routines that once offered comfort now suffocate innovation. Emma encountered this in the form of her barista position, a role that demanded precision and customer appeasement, but offered no outlet for her creative soul. In choosing to leave that position and pursue art full-time, Emma stood at the precipice of uncertainty and found an unexpected calm. The decision echoed the essence of individuation, a process Carl Jung described as aligning your internal compass with your authentic center. Individuation requires shedding roles that no longer resonate, roles assigned by family, society, or habit, and stepping fully into the person you are becoming. When Emma handed in her notice, she embraced the unknown, trusting that her inner guidance would lead her to new opportunities. In the days that followed, she organized her life around her art, morning sketches before the sun rose, studio sessions bathed in afternoon light, gallery visits that expanded her vision. Each brushstroke became an affirmation of her choice to live by her own values. Soon, a local gallery offered her a solo exhibition, validating her decision to detach from the familiar and embrace a path that stirred her heart. Your life is a canvas. These signs are the brushstrokes painting a masterpiece of clarity and joy. Each act of detachment, whether from toxic people or outdated roles, adds color and depth to the portrait of your true self. Are you ready to paint your new life? Embracing these signs transforms not only your circumstances, but your very reality. It sends a clear message. You will no longer exist on autopilot, but choose each moment in alignment with your soul's design. So how do you live this awakened life every day? The key lies in practical, intentional steps that integrate your breakthroughs into routine and ritual. Begin by creating a daily ritual of boundary checking. At day's end, reflect on which interactions energized you and which drained you. Without judgment, record them in a journal. Energy gained and energy lost. Over time, patterns emerge, revealing the people, places, and activities that support or sabotage your well-being. Next, cultivate an expression hour devoted solely to your passions. Block off 1 hour each day, be it painting, writing, coding, or dancing, and commit to full presence. Let external demands fade as you immerse yourself in the creative process. This consistent practice reinforces your value and reaffirms that your inner calling deserves time and attention. Remember to pause before critical decisions. When faced with a request, personal or professional, invite a 3-minute pause. During this time, breathe deeply, scan your body for tension or ease, and ask, does this honor my boundaries and support my true path? Your body's response often reveals wisdom beyond intellectual reasoning. If it signals misalignment, practice the courage to decline. Awaken to synchronicity by maintaining a journal of meaningful coincidences. Note every moment when a random remark, a book title, or an encounter seems tailor-made for your current challenges. These synchronistic events are the universe's way of guiding you, confirming you're on the right track. Reflecting on these entries weekly allows you to recognize the invisible threads weaving your life's tapestry. Fuel your growth with a personalized growth menu. Identify 3 core areas: emotional resilience, creative mastery, or communication skills, and list micro actions for each. Rotate through these options daily, ensuring steady progress without overwhelm. Tracking your small victories on a visible chart sustains motivation and highlights your evolution. Community amplifies transformation. Host a monthly authenticity circle with a handful of trusted peers. In these gatherings, share breakthroughs and struggles without fear of judgment. This practice fosters mutual support and reminds you that your journey is part of a broader human narrative of growth. Honor your need for renewal with a monthly day of release. Disconnect entirely from non-essential commitments. Tune into quiet reflection, gentle movement, or meditation. This day of sacred rest resets your system, realigns your inner compass, and replenishes your creative reserves. Living an awakened life is a daily dance of awareness and action. Each morning, you choose to honor your boundaries, express your passions, and deepen your self-understanding. You reaffirm your commitment to living consciously. This unwavering choice shapes not only your personal landscape, but also radiates outward, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of individuation. Are you ready to live this reality? Take a deep breath. Feel the energy in your chest and the spark in your mind. That spark is your soul's promise that every step toward your truth unlocks a life of deeper satisfaction. If you're committed to this path, hit like to seal your intention. Share this message with someone who needs to know their power and comment, "I choose my truth," to stand with a community of awake seekers. Your awakened life awaits. Go forth and create the next breathtaking chapter. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily choice to honor these signs. Though the initial spark of awakening can feel electrifying, sustaining that momentum requires a steady, intentional rhythm of thoughts and actions. You wouldn't expect an acorn to become an oak tree in a single season. Similarly, your soul's growth unfolds through countless small moments of courage and clarity. Below, discover practical, heart-centered steps you can weave into your everyday life to make your transformation real and lasting. Start by planting a seed of self-inquiry each morning or evening. When you recognize sign 1, the impulse to question your long-held beliefs, pick up a journal and pose this simple yet profound question: which belief no longer serves me? Don't censor or judge your answers. Let them flow raw and unfiltered. Emma, once bound by her perfectionism, began each entry by naming a single fear, perhaps the fear of disappointing others or failing to meet her own impossibly high standards. By writing these beliefs down, she shone a light on what had operated unconsciously, gradually loosening their grip on her decisions. With time, she replaced "I must always be perfect" with "I am learning and growing every day," a new mantra that aligned her choices with self-compassion rather than self-suppression. Next, turn your attention to sign 2, the sensation of detachment from past patterns. In a quiet moment, reflecting on relationships or routines that feel distant or draining, create a ritual of gentle release. Light a candle, breathe deeply, and visualize those outdated connections dissolving like morning mist. Emma practiced this on Sunday evenings. She'd sit in her favorite armchair, close her eyes, and mentally untie the knots of unfulfilling friendships and unproductive habits. She imagined her energy returning to her core, filling her with renewed light. At week's end, she felt more vibrant, more aligned, or energetic in her own words, than she had in months. As you honor these first signs, you'll naturally flow into sign 3, where you question what once felt essential. Rather than allowing external demands to set your agenda, craft a daily priority alignment list of your top 3 pursuits, for example, creative expression, meaningful connection, and physical well-being. Tape this list to your bathroom mirror or set it as a phone wallpaper so you see it each time you check your reflection or unlock your screen. Emma's list read creativity, joy, freedom. Every time she felt pulled toward a shift that undervalued her artistry, she glanced at her list and recalibrated. Over time, her schedule reshaped itself. Fewer barista hours and more gallery visits, sketchbook sessions, and museum trips. When sign 4 surfaces, your intuition swelling to a roar, install a simple 3-breath check-in into your routine. Whenever you face a choice, whether about a job offer, a social invitation, or a creative idea, pause. Close your eyes if you can. Take 3 deep, intentional breaths and ask, does this align with my truth? Pay attention to subtle physical cues, a sense of openness in your chest, a lightness in your stomach, or a steady surge of energy. Emma used this pause to guide her decision to enroll in that pivotal art class. Despite concerns about time and money, her body hummed with excitement during the breath check-in, and she trusted that sensation over her mind's objections. A newfound hunger for growth. Sign 5 emerges next. Let that urge propel you into a practice of weekly growth challenges. Simply identify one new skill, idea, or perspective you want to explore each week and commit 30 minutes daily to that focus. Emma devoted Monday evenings to Jungian psychology, Tuesday mornings to color theory online tutorials, and Wednesday lunch breaks to attending local artist talks. By Friday, she'd compiled notes, sketches, and reflections that coalesced into fresh insights for her next painting. This steady accumulation of small wins fueled her confidence and expanded her creative toolkit. As you cultivate boundaries around your time and attention, sign 6 beckons you to assert your needs with kindness. Create a compassionate boundary statement. You can adapt for any situation. I appreciate your request, but I'm committed to dedicated creative time right now. Let's connect on alternate time. Practice this phrase in front of the mirror, infusing it with warmth and conviction. Emma used her statement whenever managers asked for extra shifts, declining gracefully yet firmly. Each time she protected her art hours, it reinforced a deep message. Her inner world mattered as much as any external obligation. Finally, when sign 7 arrives, you'll feel ready to Release and replace one outdated habit each month. Identify a habit that consistently steals your energy: mindless social media scrolling, late-night television binges, or repeatedly checking email. Choose a replacement practice that brings you closer to your priorities. Perhaps 15 minutes of painting, a short meditation, or reading a chapter of a growth book. Emma's first replacement was trading her nightly phone scroll for a restorative sketching session. That simple shift not only sharpened her creative skills, but also improved her sleep and morning mindset. These daily actions are the seeds you plant today. They will blossom into a forest of purpose and peace tomorrow. Each journal entry, each pause, each boundary set, and each habit release compounds, strengthening your new identity. Soon you'll notice how effortlessly you align with your authentic path, how relationships evolve to support your growth, and how unexpected doors, exhibitions, collaborators, opportunities open in response to your commitment. Which seed will you plant first? Maybe you begin with the journal prompt, shining light into your unconscious beliefs. Or perhaps you choose to let go of a draining relationship or habit. Whatever step you take, celebrate it as a conscious act of self-honor. No victory is too small, and every step is a declaration of your dedication to living awake. But how do you stay connected to this path? The answer lies in ritual, reflection, and community. Rituals anchor your transformation in daily life. Morning journaling, midday pause checks, evening sketching sessions. Reflection deepens your awareness. Weekly reviews of your priority alignment list, boundary journal, and growth challenge insights. Community amplifies your courage. Share your journey with a trusted friend group, an online creative circle, or a mentorship network. As you nurture these practices, you'll find that your environment changes to match your inner evolution. Toxic influences fade, new opportunities flourish, and your life becomes a living testament to the power of conscious choice. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily commitment to honoring your soul's guidance. If you're ready to cultivate this transformation, hit like to affirm your intention. Share this guide with someone who needs it, and comment, "I choose my soul," to join a community of awakened creators. Your masterpiece awaits, moment by moment, choice by choice, action by action. These 7 signs aren't mere hints. They're your soul's declaration that you're ready for a life of peace, purpose, and authenticity. From the moment you first felt the stirrings of doubt in a long-held belief to the moment you released a toxic relationship or freed yourself from outdated roles, each signal has gently but insistently guided you toward your truest self. You began by questioning the very foundations of your identity, wondering if perfectionism or people-pleasing really served your highest good. You felt yourself detached from routines, friendships, and environments that left you hollow. You discovered that possessions and paychecks could never match the joy of genuine creativity, and you listened to your intuition even when it defied logic. You cultivated an unquenchable hunger for personal growth, setting boundaries that protected your time and energy, and you ceremoniously released the habits that no longer uplifted you. With each choice to honor these signs, you rewrote the script of your life, penning chapters filled with passion, clarity, and freedom. You won't just change, you'll become unstoppable. As you move forward, the momentum you've built will carry you through every challenge. When doubt creeps back in, remember how far you've come, how many walls you've breached merely by daring to question, detach, and expand. Your past self, conditioned by fear and obligation, may still whisper old scripts in moments of uncertainty, but your awakened self now holds the pen. Comment now, "I'm stepping into my greatest life." Declare your commitment and watch how words solidify intention. Share which sign moved you most, whether it was the liberation of letting go of toxic ties or the thrill of heeding your intuition. and tag someone who needs this spark so they too can recognize the sacred milestones on their path. This is more than a personal transformation. It's a collective awakening. Subscribe and hit the bell to continue this journey. Our next video dives deeper into soul awakening exercises that will anchor your growth and amplify your authenticity. What happens when you live fully in these signs? A reality beyond your wildest dreams awaits. Imagine a life where your days align with your deepest values, your relationships nourish rather than deplete you, and your work reflects your soul's purpose. Picture yourself waking each morning with excitement instead of dread, carrying an unshakable sense of inner calm, regardless of external circumstances. Don't stop now. You're not alone. Thousands are awakening right alongside you, stepping bravely into versions of themselves they never thought possible. Every comment, every share, every subscription fuels a movement, a ripple of courage and clarity that spans continents. Let's ignite a movement of souls stepping boldly into their most extraordinary lives. I'll see you in the next video, where we explore the depths of your true self and practice powerful exercises to keep your awakening flame burning bright. Until then, remember, the universe has been whispering to you all along. Now it's time to shout your truth back.